In a world full of distractions, there is one big question on every dog owner's lips.
How do I become more than just the person holding the other end of the leash?
We all get dogs with a dream in mind, a vision of the future. And if right now your everyday reality isn't quite that picture you had in mind, you are in the right place.
It really doesn't have to be this way.
You absolutely can and will be more to your dog than just the person who gets in between them and the world.
The key is you need to be more sexy.
More sexy than the neighbourhood cat.
More sexy than the jogger in the park.
More sexy than that half-eaten hamburger they just found on the floor.
And yes, even more sexy than the dog across the road.
I'm Tom.
And I'm Lauren.
Together we're Absolute Dogs.
And you're listening to the Sexier Than a Squirrel podcast. Hello and welcome to the Sexier Than a Squirrel podcast, the podcast that gives you real life results. Now, today I feel really humbled, privileged and grateful to be joined by the wonderful pro dog trainer, Cathy, who's out there not only rocking the trainer world, rocking the dog owner world, but also rocking the brand new mummy and just had a new baby world. Cathy, welcome. Massively, huge congratulations. It's amazing to see you. And I'm really grateful and happy that you're going to join us today. How are you?
Good, really good. Thank you. Yeah, we're both doing well. Theo's just had a bath, so he's settled.
Quiet, settled. So we're going to chat a little bit about how your whole journey has been and how really you got into this whole experience, because I know how much you can impart, share and give to others, because when I first met you, just tell everybody what you did.
Well, I suppose a few years ago now, I was a fashion jewellery designer working in London, full-time in London, quite a long commute. And yeah, so completely different to what I'm doing now.
And you came here for some training. Yeah, so you were here for some training. And when you came here for some training, tell me a little bit about what you were training and what happened. And I remember us having a conversation because you were down at the centre and you were having some training. Tell me a little bit about what happened.
Well, I'd had to fight to really get the space and come here. I really had to. I needed to ask my colleagues and my boss if I could get the time off, because it was really important to me that I did that. And the work that I was doing, the job that I was doing, very high pressure, and quite often it can be quite tricky to get the time off. And so I became quite emotional because I knew I needed it. I needed that opportunity to come down and do some training. It was train the trainer and, improve my skills, because secretly I really knew I wanted to do this as a career. And I thought if I don't come down and just, get involved basically, then I thought, it will never really happen. So I came down, I saw you, and I was actually really emotional because I was so proud that I'd done it. And I remember having a chat with you and saying, work is tough and, struggles with stress and trying to start a family has always been a struggle for us. And
you said life was tough at the time, and life was difficult at the time. And I remember, yeah, you were emotional. You were emotional, weren't you? And rightly so, because it was a big thing.
Yeah, definitely. And, with the stresses of the work, traveling a lot to not so glamorous places, some sort of dusty parts of China, which, it's quite an amazing opportunity, but health-wise, not so great. And having sort of 3 miscarriages, and we were like desperate for a change, really. And I was like, I need to push myself for a change. And I knew I was passionate about animals and passionate about dogs, always have been. So I thought, why not? I can do this.
And when you said I can do this, tell everybody what you decided to do. Like, tell everybody, what decision were you really making?
So the decision I was really making was finding out if I could really make it happen. Could I actually change my life? Could I actually quit my full-time job and start a business? Could I do it? Was I good enough? And did I have the skills? Did I know enough? Could I make a living from it? Could I pay the bills and pay the mortgage?
And I suppose one of the biggest things for you to work on initially was actually your self-confidence and your a mindset of actually you could tackle this and you could take something on. When we first met, I think your self-confidence, and I'm sure you won't mind me saying, Cathy, was quite low in terms of could you take something like this on? Yeah, could you change your lifestyle? Could you take something different on? Because it was going to be very different, right?
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah. And it's not just easy to make a big transition. It's one of the biggest things to do is change careers. But I have to say, with the support that I've had from you and Tom and the whole team and the community, it's actually made it, well, quite an enjoyable journey, actually. Not as stressful as I thought it would be.
I love that. So, Cathy, just before we jumped on, and I said, no, don't tell me anymore, because I know that I want everybody to hear this. And you were like telling me all this brilliant sort of just life-changing stuff. Tell me a little bit about how you feel your life has changed since jumping in and joining Pro Dog Trainer.
Well, it's drastically changed. So after I joined, I sort of studied hard. I learned all the games. I played all the games, and I sort of really immersed myself in it. And I know you say that a lot.
Just to recap, though, just tell us, you are a very normal dog owner, correct? You have normal dogs and you're a normal dog person. It's not like you've come into this going, I've got all these qualifications, or you're a normal dog owner, correct?
Yes. I started with little Pixel, who was a tiny little Chihuahua, and she was hands down, she was a lot of dog.
I love that, because she's a Chihuahua, so this always makes me giggle. And just tell everybody, has your life changed? Like, where do you think your life would be if you didn't join Pro Dog Trainer?
I honestly, I think I would not be in a good place right now. And hands down, again, my life has changed for the better, and it really has been because of jumping in. And I actually had the guts to quit my full-time job, set up my dog training business, Horton Dogs, which has been running now for over 3 years. And
high five.
Like, high five.
Yes, I mean, that's so cool. And you walked out of a full-time job where you were traveling to China and going to all these high-flying places, and actually you, at the same time, you said you'd had 3 miscarriages, it was stressful, and life wasn't necessarily, yes, you might have been in what's so called like a successful career, however, you weren't feeling so successful in your life.
No, exactly that. And I had gone to university and studied hard and worked hard to get the career that is it's that type that you don't think to yourself, I'm going to be a dog trainer. It's just not something you think of. But
no, you don't.
But actually, it's again like one of the biggest changes that I made and impacted my life greatly. Because I can design my day. I know you say it, and
I just literally sat here and I've got Tokyo behind me. I've got who have I got there? I've got Everest over there. I've got Classic over here. I'm sat out here. It's a glorious evening, and I just said to Matt, I don't want to go inside. I'm going to chat outside, because this is what we get to do, right? Like, this is what we get to do, and I just love it. All right, I'm going to ask you some questions, because I've got questions, and I straight away have left my questions. I'm so naughty. So I suppose, what has been one of your biggest takeaways from completing Pro Dog Trainer? What's been one of your biggest moments of like, yeah, this is a big takeaway from Pro Dog Trainer?
I think being able to express dog training in a way that's actually easy to understand. So I know that it can get a bit sciencey sometimes, and actually the reality is that people just want to know how to handle their dogs, how to live with their dogs, how to just be happy with their dogs, and you don't need all of that sort of sciencey jargon, and quite often that puts people off.
I agree.
And actually saying it in ways that are really easy to understand, and that's one thing I absolutely love about the Pro Dog Trainer program, is that there's so many analogies, like, you know, the arousal bucket and things like that, you know, shaping the brain. It makes sense, and I think that's one of the biggest takeaways, is actually having the skills to be able to then speak to other people about it and making sense so that they can actually make change and make change.
And I watch you, and I think that one of my biggest growth areas for you, or seeing you, is you're such a different person. You are like this bold, brave, now superwoman, because you're mummy as well. Like, you literally are out there rocking it and you're crushing it. And I'm watching you like, yeah. So someone says to me, what do you do? And I'm like, yeah, we get to make people's dreams come true. Like, we get to watch people's dreams like coming true again and again and again, because you're doing something amazing. And both Tom and I, we can't do it all alone. And so it's amazing to see someone like you out there, like, yeah, just pushing it. So I've got another question for you. How has completing Pro Dog Trainer changed your life as a whole when you compare where you are now with where you were before Absolute Dogs?
Well, just completely different. So like you say, like, I am a different person. Believe it or not, I used to be extremely shy. In fact, actually, you probably saw me when I saw
you, and I absolutely like different.
So yeah, a lot more, I'm a lot braver, I would say, as well. So I've become used to pushing myself out of the comfort zone and enjoying the results. Because again, if I hadn't have pushed myself to jump in or to quit my job, I would never be where I am now, which is you know, I mean, just before I went on maternity leave, business was booming. I literally had to turn people away.
Which is incredible. It's absolutely, it's incredible. That's something else, isn't it? Like, business is booming. And the fact that you went, actually, I'm on maternity leave right now. I'm off for a bit.
I still am having to say, soon. I'll start again soon.
It's perfect. Is there anyone in particular that has been an inspiration for you? Maybe a fellow student, or the Pro Dog Trainer community in general, or anyone in specifically that you'd say has been inspiring or helpful, or particularly like you've been able to lean on a little bit?
I'd say Karen Crindrop. I can never say her name properly.
Just we'll say Karen. It's cool.
Karen, she's been fantastic. She joined Pro Dog Trainer after me, and she asked if she could come and sort of help classes. And because she's a Pro Dog Trainer, I said, okay, yeah. And she's been fantastic, and helping me. And we like to sort of put like class plans together, or talk through maybe if we've got one-to-ones, what struggles and strengths we need to work on. And because we speak the same language,
you connect.
It's been really, really good, you know, because we both understand, you know, the arousal bucket and concepts.
That's so cool. That's so cool. And like, you think about it, in Australia, you might have seen like the Australian community have got like a real connection, and then the New Zealand cool crew have got their connections, and then there's a bit of a London connection. And actually, that's the coolest bit about Pro Dog Trainer, is it now does ripple all over the world, right? So that's really cool. That's really, really cool. And was there any point in your PDT journey that made you think, oh, actually, I can't do this, or maybe I'm not the right person, or can I even handle this, or is this for me? Did you have any doubt, or any self-doubt, or any wobbles, any moments?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I'm human after all, and, you know, wobbles and self-doubt, it happens. But quite often, what I would normally do if I have such a, you know, wobble, I would actually speak to the Pro Dog community, and straight away I will, without even probably waiting 5 minutes, I've got people helping me, giving me advice, or just picking me back up, basically.
There's an amazing community, isn't there? The community is incredible. I don't think you find communities like that anywhere. I don't find them anywhere on social media, that's for sure.
No, absolutely. It's like nothing else, really, the community. And I think it's because we're all on the same page, and we've all got the same dream, really, and which is changing lives, and and even our own lives. We want to help others, but we also want to be able to think, can I actually change my life in the process as well, and make a difference? And
rightly so, like, you guys are making a difference, or we were all making a difference, and at the same time improving ourselves, which has ripple effects on improving everybody else. So it's amazing stuff. So if someone was to ask you whether they should join Pro Dog Trainer, maybe they've got their own naughty dog, or maybe they're struggling on their own dog, and actually they just want to learn a bit more, what would you say to them?
I'd say it definitely be useful. Absolutely. Again, back to sort of understanding why dogs are doing what they're doing. It means that you can then use that and adapt, your lifestyle, or play some games with your own dogs so that you can actually help them. And again, because it's done in such a way that it's not, it's definitely not boring, and it's really fun. So
are you saying Tom and I set funny jokes? And if someone said, look, I'm doubtful, like, is this for me? Am I going to get on okay in this community? I've been in other dog training courses, they've been boring. Or what are you going to tell them?
I'd say it's like nothing else, really. And jump in. You really won't regret it. Absolutely.
Is it worth it? Is it worth it?
Definitely. Honestly, hands down. I am living a different life, and happier. I'm buzzing, and I'm slightly sleep deprived, and I'm still buzzing.
You literally look incredible, Cathy. You literally look so incredible. So what makes your future now? What's happening for you next? So obviously you're on maternity at the moment. What's next?
Well, I've just started planning and getting the venue back on board for classes, starting in probably August time, summertime. Nice. And then starting a few one-to-ones here and there where I can fit it, and just getting back into it, really, because I miss it.
So last question for you. I love that, and I think I'm excited to see you get back up and running, because we love having you on board, and I love watching your journey. What is your favorite Absolute Dogs game, and why? Tell us, maybe tell us Pixel's favorite Absolute Dogs game, because I might have a clue, but you know what, tell us your favorite game.
Oh, well, it'd have to be middle.
And which type of middle? Come on.
Pixel middle. Yeah. Yeah. Honestly, Rocket can't even do it as quick as she can do it. Literally. So
she's even got a game named after her Royal Highness Pixel.
Oh, yes.
She is the best little dog. And I've watched you play this game. Those of you that are part of the training academy, you can watch Pixel Middle. If you're not part of the training academy, well, when you join Pro Dog Trainer, you get the training academy as part of your Pro Dog Trainer course. For everyone out there, I know they're going to have loved listening to your journey a little bit, Cathy. I'm really proud of your journey. Your journey has been something special, and as much as we have many super students, I particularly love your growth in confidence, your growth in yourself, your growth in your just your whole persona has changed. You're a changed person, and you're always amazing, and watching you now, that bravery is really standing out. Like, I love it. You're doing fantastic stuff.
Thank you.
You're so welcome. So that was this episode of the Sexier and Squirrel podcast. Thank you so much to Cathy for joining us, talking a little bit about Pro Dog Trainer, a little bit about being a Pro Dog Trainer, motherhood, and actually how you're juggling it all and about to fit it back in. We'll join you, everybody listening to us next week. We've got more awesomeness coming. And remember, stay sexy.
Sexy.
Yeah, sexy.